What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome to another episode. So, one of the things that will define your success or failure within your business is your ability to find, to hire, to train, and retain incredible people. And this is surprisingly difficult. I would say this is the number one reason most entrepreneurs that I work with have stayed small in the past is they either did one of two things. They hired somebody, they brought them in, but didn't train them very well, and then they got frustrated when the everything took longer than expected, that what came back at a lower quality than they expected. So eventually that entrepreneur just got so fed up with it, they're like, I'm just going to take it back onto my own plate. And so then they wrote off hiring altogether, and they said, well, hiring's not worth the energy because good help's hard to find and blah blah blah, all this, that, the other thing. But what I found, like, because when we were growing Escape, like, we really struggled with this thing. What we came to realize with Escape was that the business that we were really in was not manufacturing and e-commerce. It was actually the business of hiring great blue collar workers, people that wanted to work on the assembly line, right? That's a really hard demographic of people to really motivate, because it's not a career path that most people, come out of school wanting to pursue. And so you hear all the time, like, you have to hire A players. Well, how do you hire an A player for that particular department, that particular area? Because A players are just by definition so damn rare. Like, the rock stars are so difficult. But every now and then you come across one, and it's like day and night. You suddenly realize that the difference between an A player and a B player isn't like the difference of like 2x productivity or effectiveness. It's like 100x. And this was like most starkly driven home for me. And it probably was a 2018. We were looking for a new operator. We were looking for, actually, what we were looking for was somebody to work as a production specialist. And that's somebody that sits in the plastics room. They pour plastic all day long and produce climbing holds. And so we had an interview with this gentleman. I'm not going to say his name. We'll call him Damian. We had an interview with this guy named Damian, who had worked at another plastics company, but more as what was he? As like a liquid engineer. So he understood the movement of fluids through a dynamic system. And he was coming in because our job description was a little bit unclear. We sat down with him, and within 20 minutes of talking to him, I was convinced that he was the guy that we needed to build our entire business around. Like, I was like, forget the production specialist. This guy just needs to be here. I don't even know what role we're going to give him. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what what it would cost to get him, but we need him. And so, he turned down the initial offer that we made to him because he saw the production specialist job, and he's like, nah, I don't think that's a good fit based on talking with you guys. I have a couple other things lined up to other companies to talk to. So I appreciate you guys' interest. And my partner and I, remember, we're sitting in the conference room after he had turned us down. And I was like, I don't know, man. I feel like we just missed a shooting star. Like, he's it. That guy is incredible. I don't know. He's technically incredible. Personality wise, he's incredible. Like, he was a young kid, and it was a bit of a gamble because he hadn't really worked at any other big companies. And so, like, he was like 23 years old, very, very fresh. And so I just looked at my partner and I was like, I don't know, man. I think we have to do whatever it takes. I think we have to make another try to get him. And so we called him back up and we're like, what would it take to get you to come work here? We pretty much just said, like, you name your terms. And he named his terms, and we're like, oof, oh, okay. And so then we're like, well, we'll get back to you on that. And we sat down and we went back and forth. And one of the things I've come to realize over the years, because I've seen this play out countless times, is that there's only ever one of two times to hire. Like, nobody ever hires at the perfect moment. You either hire too soon or too late. The cost of hiring too soon is capital. It costs you money out the door because you hired somebody for an opportunity that hasn't quite realized itself yet. The other cost is cost of missed opportunity. So what is the missed opportunity of not having that person on board right now, running towards this great opportunity? Like, how much could they make you versus how much they cost you? And often what we do is we overvalue the cost of capital, because you can map that on a spreadsheet. You can see, like, oh, this guy's going to cost me $100,000 a year. We don't have $100,000, right? But the cost of missed opportunity is like, this guy could grow this department to $1 million in the next 5 months, right? You can't see that for sure. So it's harder to plot that out and to do an apples to apples comparison. So what a lot of us will do then is we'll take the dollars, the capital, the cost of capital, and we'll say, yeah, we just can't afford you right now. Well, for whatever, I didn't know that, hadn't thought through that concept back then. Like, I was early enough in my entrepreneurial career that there wasn't enough pattern recognition. I just had a gut feeling that when you find the person, you have to do everything in your power to get them. You get it. Like, I just had this feeling that we had to make that bet. And so we caved to all of his demands. We gave him everything. We pretty much gave him the keys to the kingdom and said, please come here, work with us. And he did. And in hindsight, he's been with us ever since. And so it's like 8 years now, 7 years, 8 years, and has been worth every goddamn penny and more. And I can say that now in hindsight. Couldn't have said it at the time. It was a big, huge, scary bet for us. And I wanted to share that with you because I think you probably realize that you can't do it all on your own. And if you're hitting the upper ceiling of your capacity, you have a business that's doing, I don't know, around 30K per month, $300,000 a year, 400,000, like you're starting to, you have a good business, you have good profit, but you're doing everything, and you're not going to get to 100K a month or to $1 million a year. You're not going to get there unless you can start working with and through other people. And that's not just working with and through B players, but also being able to recognize and then make the bet when you find that rare A player, that unicorn that you can go all in on. And sometimes it can be really helpful just to have somebody else looking over your shoulder and giving you some advice, giving you the benefit of their pattern recognition to say, I've seen these dots before, here's how it connects. And that's why we created the Beyond the Apex group coaching program. So if that's something that you want to check out, the description, actually the application is down in the description. Just go check it out. Love the opportunity to work with you. Otherwise, if you're not quite there yet, then just keep watching the content, hit subscribe. Just understand that the cost of missed opportunity is almost always greater than the cost of capital when it comes to hiring. So make the bet big. And then from there, you got to figure out how to retain that talent. And that's going to be a topic for a different day. But hopefully this helps somebody out there who's maybe on the verge of making a big hiring decision, and you're waffling, you're going back and forth, you're hemming, you're hawing between the clear A player who's really expensive or the more moderately priced B player. I'm telling you, go for the A player. They're worth it every single time. So it's going to do it for me, guys and gals. We'll see you in the next episode. You get trapped really easily by like market expectations or like the expectations that you start with. So when you go and you're hiring for this production specialist role and you figure out, okay, what's the role look like? How much are we going to pay them? What kind of benefits are they going to get? You get locked into that. And so we're like, okay, that role, that's a 40K, 50K per year job, right? So then when we sat down with him and he came back and he's like, I want 75K. You have to understand, like, I was making 70K. My partner was making 70K. So he was like, so proportionally, right? Like in the business at that point was doing maybe like $400,000 a year, right? And so like you look at that and you're like, I don't know if we can't afford him because he's not even doing production work. Like we're going to be hiring him and he's not really the guy that's going to be producing the widget. So he's not making us, like, it's not clear exactly how he's going to make us the money. So his like total salary wasn't ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. It was much higher than what we had available and what we had budgeted and also what we ourselves were making. And so, but then it was like, he's worth it. Like we're going to figure out a way to use him. Right. And that was another really valuable lesson, is that you put your best people on your best opportunities and not your biggest problems, right? Because a big problem usually only has like a capped upside, but an opportunity has unlimited. So we brought him in and we're like, okay, here's where we see the opportunity to use you to your maximum effect. You tell us how you're going to make us money now, right? And like he did. And within a short period of time, it was like, oh God, he's the best thing that we've ever done. And so it's like, but there's just like, in hindsight now, I'm like, God, we could have paid him like $150,000 a year and it would have been worth it. We could have paid him twice as much. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that. He runs the whole fucking back end. Like literally. So like, so the way the company was split up is I was front of house. I handled shipping, customer relations, and marketing. And my partner Ryan handled everything back of house, which was production, inventory, everything that like to produce and make the widgets, right? So he comes in, he became our facilities director. Yeah. So he took over everything that my partner in the back was doing, which freed my partner then to focus on other things and like higher level, because he is more of a visionary. So he came in as like an executor and executed in the back where we needed it most. So the biggest value he brought was removing my partner from a role that he was inherently not suited for. Because like you have these divisions, like people talk about, oh, are you a visionary or are you an implementer or an executor, right? Like it's funny because both him and I, like I can balance between a visionary and an implementer. He was very much a visionary, and he was also he like, in fairness, he was an implementer. He just didn't like it as much. He wasn't as good at it. And honestly, like when you think about what's your zone of genius, his zone of genius is like being a visionary and running the company towards new products and ideas and new area. Like that was his skill. And so bringing in this guy to run the back to free him, that's where he made his money. Was it freed my partner to do the thing that he was best in the world at. Yeah. And then like over the last like 7-8 years, he's just continued to grow that thing, like in the back, like the complexity of it. It's remarkable what he's done, honestly. So.